Good morning, mi gente. It's 9 a.m. I know gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the freaking morning. Well, that's why I'm still in bed. Me, I'm FayWhat, and welcome back to the FayWhat Show, the only show where we spill the queer tea from my comma. This program was created by Hotspots Happening Out. The FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and I'm broadcasting live and also available on demand. Hotspots Happening Out's nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, HIV and healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. In 2026, our Hotspots Happening Out magazine celebrates 41 years of documenting the LGBTQ plus experience. It's the largest publication of its kind in Florida and one of the oldest in America. Happening Out Television Network's Queer News Tonight is celebrating over 11,000 television stories and more than 11 million streaming views so far. It's the most watched LGBTQ news and information show in the world. Hotspots Happening Out will be producing some of the most incredible LGBTQ plus events, including Wilton Manor Stonewall Pride and Pride Fest. We represent the same model of PBS and NPR. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. It is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. We have lots of fun things to talk about. So come on, let's go.
Rainbows, gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too? If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
And now let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a sidekick joining me in bed, one of my besties. I adore him. Our segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late. I'm joined by my gay guy pal, Jamal Starks. He's a model, spiritualist, wellness counselor, part of Queer Yoga Miami, Queer Yoga Club Miami, and HIV activist with Impulse Group. Also sits on the Men of Color Advisory Board for Vive Healthcare. Let's not forget, he walks as sex siren in his spare time, which is none, for the House of Gorgeous Gucci. You can find him on Instagram at Porcelain, PORC3LAIN. Good morning, Jamal. Welcome back to my bed, boo.
Hey, boo. Mwah. We're here in chilly South Florida.
Oh, yes.
Right. This is the first time you're under the covers and I'm fully covered.
So, folks, if you've been watching our show for the last couple of years, you know that Jay is usually with a dental floss in his butt, and that's it, right? And that's how he might wear a little rag on his head, might wear a little cap, might wear a hat if he's feeling festive, right? Yeah. But for the most part, usually we're out. I'm wearing my little, negligee or something fun that I sleep in. Well, it was 36 degrees yesterday. In Florida, all right? Yeah. It's during the day, it's early morning, and it's freezing. Iguanas are falling at high number rates.
There's 2 in my yard right now.
Explain to our folks what happens to iguanas.
So when the temperature dips below 40 degrees or so, what happens is the iguanas go catatonic. So because they're cold-blooded creatures, they like to climb trees, and they fall out of the trees when the cold air comes down. Poor baby.
And they just freeze.
And they
just look like frozen salad, but they're not dead.
They're just catatonic.
They're just stuck. So so they tell you as a resident to just move them to the side, or so they don't get run over, or if I'm walking a dog, the dog wants to go up and play with it like a football, Have
you seen social media? People have been everything with iguanas. There's 2 in my yard, and my brother is like, well, also legally you're supposed to take them somewhere and they kill them. And I'm like, no! We are pet lovers.
We're
and
pet
my
lovers.
Brother too.
No.
We're like, I'm like, no, take them in the bathroom, put them in warm water. Me and my brother had a whole thing this morning. I was like, no! was like, Jay, but legally. I was like, no!
Tamala's putting sweaters on all the iguanas and shit. You know what I mean? The thing is that they'll snap out of it, okay?
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
gotta put them off to the side. And in Hollywood, they had such a high number of them that they were having like an event for you to bring them. And they had exactly how to put them into a pillowcase and then like bring them over and then they'll take care of them, you know? But I mean, again, things that you don't deal with in New York or New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Falling out the tree, like it's raining iguanas.
Like literally, like you could get knocked out by an iguana falling out a palm tree.
Like for real, for real.
You know what I mean? Like you go to the hospital and be like, what happened? An iguana hit me. What?
Somebody had an iguana they had on social media frozen to the back of their car, just riding down 95.
Oh my God. Folks, look up cold iguanas in South Florida. We just gave you an extra laugh for the day. All right. Let's get started with the FayWhat show. Next, let's Kiki on this interesting story. So Kathy Griffin is back, and she's not here to play nice. In a fiery new episode of Talk Your Head Off, the comedian claims she's ready to squash her longtime feud with Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper, but only after lighting the match. Kathy reminds viewers that after CNN dropped her in 2017, Andy stepped in and never had her back. Now she says she's setting aside personal drama and demands that both men use their massive platforms to spotlight the killing of Renee Nicole Good by an ICE agent in Minnesota. She questions why Anderson isn't, quote, boots on the ground, and urges Andy to dedicate airtime on Watch What Happens Live. Watch this.
The reason I am putting aside my beef with Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper is because I want you guys to recognize that you have a much larger microphone and platform than little D-lister Kathy Griffin. And Anderson, why are you on the ground? Why aren't you in Minnesota, boots on the ground, being the reporter that I knew you to be? So I just have to call out you and all the other anchors that are sitting in their studios, safe and sound, when you guys should be on the ground in all parts of Minnesota. Anderson, I'm imploring you, please go there. If you go there, people will watch and people won't feel like, oh, this is only happening in Minnesota. It won't happen in my state. If it happens in my state, I'll be okay because the others will be in danger. Or more importantly, clarify for people that ICE is not going after criminals.
Kathy Griffin puts Andy and Anderson on notice. What are we all talking about?
Whoa. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's heating things up. I think she's right. You know, I don't think she's wrong.
Yeah.
I think she's passionate about it.
Well, you remember how she lost her gig? Do you remember?
If I remember, I don't remember the details.
So she had a picture of a cut off head of Trump.
Remember now. I remember.
And with that, which again, if she was a man, she wouldn't have lost all her gigs. Just my own personal thought.
Yeah,
okay?
It went viral and then they all went after her.
And she lost. She lost the New Year's thing. She lost the CNN thing. She lost her show.
And they replaced her with
Anderson Cooper. Well, I mean, excuse me, with Andy Cohen.
Andy Cohen.
Yeah.
Yes, and he hasn't been off since.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they were all friends, Jay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it seemed to me from the outside looking in that like they all kind of turned their back. Were like, nah, bitch, you're on your own there. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the name of the industry, right? Like, okay, I got a job, he got a job. These are still working class people at the end of the day. So I guess they turned their backs on her because they separated themselves from any retaliation. And Anderson Cooper has number one, he's a fucking Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
like,
he's loaded. I mean,
like,
he don't need to work.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Like, he is top 1%.
Even though he's gay, nobody messes with him.
And a journalist.
Yeah.
He's still a part of the elite group.
Yeah.
And so that also speaks to, you know, how other people are treated. We've watched so many journalists go down because of their platforms. We've watched Don Lemon this past weekend.
That's not even right. I get chills from that. I mean, you know, we are journalists.
Who did his job?
Who was just doing his job in Minneapolis. That's it. That was his job. Exactly. And he got taken away by federal agents. I mean, this is the world that we're in right now.
Him and, oh God, what's the other girl that he went to jail with? I don't want to, but there was two.
Yeah.
There was him and the other girl. And then we've even watched, my smart girl, NBC, Joanne Reed. We watched her lose her show.
Yes.
Because
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And because of standing up for what's right and speaking power, truth to power. So we've watched all of them, but Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen, to me, always are glaringly what I always perceive the white gay community to be completely transparent, always toting the line, always using, especially when you're a cisgendered man and you have white privilege, always using those things come first before anything
Before them
else.
being gay or the queer community. Yeah, like, Real Housewives comes first before talking about immigration policy and what's going on. I mean, it's true.
Anything. They always tote the line, and then they always have, especially Andy Cohen, a way of making light of anything that is heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and listen, there's certain things that don't need any effing light. It's dark and it's nasty, and it needs to be pushed forward with your platform, and that's that. And that's what Kathy Griffin is doing. You know what I mean?
Did any one of them stand up for Don Lemon this past weekend?
I doubt it.
Or say anything about how horrendous that is. That is the first. I remember hearing somebody, because I mean, for the past year or so, we've been talking. A lot of people who are tapped in have been talking about these are the examples of how fascism comes into a country and begins its reign. And this is one of the glaring examples, is when it attacks the media or journalists and free speech in this way, and turns it into something that it's not. When you are jailing journalists for doing their job. All he did was interview, and he interviewed the man. Like, he was like, how do you feel about what's going on, this protest? How do you feel about these things? And are you the ICE general manager or whatever over the Minneapolis? Like, he was just asking journalistic questions, and now the man has gone to jail.
Yep.
He's out now, but he went to jail.
Like, there's something so, like, just like it strips you of being human when you're taken to jail. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And they did that to him, to someone who didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's like. And then you saw the pictures of, like, him and his husband, like, walking out of jail, like, hand in hand. And it's like, listen.
Onto the Grammys red carpet.
I ain't missing
the Grammys red carpet.
I ain't missing the Grammys, you know.
Onto the Grammys red carpet.
Where anybody with a voice spoke about immigration and spoke about what was going on and with the president, and even oh God, Noah, who's the host of the Trevor Noah, like whenever he could, jab, you know what I mean? They didn't all land, but like
they didn't all land. I was fairly unmoved. I was fairly neutral with the Grammys this year, with even Lady Gaga missed the mark. She didn't really, like, there was no real powerful statement coming from the Grammys as
and it didn't feel cohesive.
It didn't feel cohesive.
Right? It didn't feel like, cohesive. Even when Noah was out in the audience making fun of people, that worked once, but he did that 6 times. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I didn't even watch to the end because I was kind of like, So I missed when Bad Bunny won Album of the Year and he cried, and that's like the biggest news when I woke up to, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. This is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to The FayWhat Show. Next, let's Kiki on this interesting story. So a trans woman in Minneapolis is going viral after she and her friend unknowingly helped far-right influencer Jake Lang escape a heated situation. Day Gachi says they were stopped at a red light on Saturday when a bleeding man chased by counter-protesters suddenly jumped into her car begging for help. That man turned out to be Lang. Yes, the January 6th figure later pardoned by President Trump. Day made it clear she does not support Lang or what he stands for, but said violence wasn't the answer. As the crowd surrounded the car and tried to pull him out, others eventually cleared a path so they could drive away. And it says video, but I guess not. She didn't agree, but she still helped. What are we all talking about? So it's just like the irony of life. You know what I mean? It's the irony of life, right?
God
this
has
guy,
a sense of humor.
I guess he has a sense of humor. You know, I mean, this gentleman was at January 6th. He ensued fear and hurt, and he was pardoned. And he's a huge white supremacist. He's disgusting. He's gross. I can't even stand to look at him. Mind you, he's at this protest. Shit goes wrong. He starts getting hit by stuff because, again, he's hateful and gross, right? And ends up getting shelter by a trans woman.
Isn't that funny?
Okay, and who helped him in the car? A black man. Okay, like when he went on a show the following day to talk about the attack, he never mentioned the trans woman, never mentioned
Or
the
the
black
black
man who
man.
helped him, just said that Good Samaritans helped him, and that was that.
Because that's how humanity works when you're non-human. You know, that's how it works. The safe spaces to go to, those who see the humanity even in you, who don't see the humanity in them. And she said violence wasn't the answer.
Listen, so I sent
Better her than me.
I sent a text today.
Better her than
Today,
me.
Gachi. I sent her a text
Yeah.
through TikTok. And I was like, look, I've done a story on you.
Yeah.
I didn't think she'd reply.
She
right?
did?
She replied
Oh!
and said, look, I had to, right? My mama raised me in a certain way.
Wow.
It didn't matter what his backstory was.
That's so
I just know that I had to get him out of there. And you know what my reply to her? You're a better person than me.
You're better than me. You're better than me. You're better than me. You are a real human, my love. The humanity
I told her,
pouring
you
out
are
of
everything,
you.
girl. And if you ever come down to
Yes.
Miami, I got you. Come stay with me for a couple of days. I was like, you are
Yes.
just amazing. I'm
Because
like,
you are worthy.
you are worthy.
You are worthy.
Like, I go to church every Sunday to try to stay at least a little bit human
Yeah.
niceness
Yeah.
out of me. And it just was. Like, she didn't have to get herself ready for it.
Yeah.
She didn't even know. You know, it was just like, that's it. She just did.
She just did. She just did. You know, that's why I tell people, God always working on me. They're like, Jamal, you're so sweet. Girl, if this was my situation.
Listen, but you know what I mean? Like, I remember, okay, I grew up on sitcoms, right? The Jeffersons,
Yeah.
right? Was one of my favorite shows
Yeah.
ever. I still watch reruns now, right? And there's an episode, they were so before their time, man.
Mhm.
There
Yeah,
was
they
an
were.
episode about that they were having a KKK meeting at the bottom in their office in their building, and that he went down there thinking that it was a different kind of meeting, right? Anyway, the head of the KKK has a heart attack and like passes out. George Jefferson does mouth to mouth and saves him. And when the guy comes to, he goes, you know, oh, George saved you, blah, blah, blah. He goes, you should have let me die. You know, that's how a lot of these people feel. That's how they think, you know? So it's like, she didn't even, Dave doesn't even care that he didn't acknowledge her. I'd be like, yo, where's my name in the paper?
Just a little gratitude.
Just a little gratitude.
Just a little gratitude.
At least say the name of the car or the color of the car that saved you, something.
But we'll
you
do
know?
it for you, Jay.
You know, but we'll do it for you. You are
Yeah.
an incredible human.
Yeah.
You keep doing what you're doing. You
Hats
represent
off to
us
you.
so incredibly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And, you know, this makes us maybe even think that maybe if that were to happen to us,
No,
that
it does.
maybe
Yeah.
we would think of you and maybe do the same.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you. This is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to The FayWhat Show. Next, let's kick in this interesting story. So Tiffany New York Pollard is not holding back. Chatting with TMZ in West Hollywood, the reality TV icon says Nicki Minaj's recent political turn feels like a slap in the face to our LGBTQ plus fans. Tiffany, who recently came out as queer and non-binary, says the community still loves Nicki's music, but not her rhetoric. Adding, it feels like the rapper has lost her way. The rock icon has been loudly critical of Trump, while Nicki has openly praised his agenda and even appeared at a Turning Point USA event. Tiffany says the Barbs are watching. Tiffany Pollard says Nicki Minaj snubbed LGBTQ. What are we all talking about? Jay, I didn't expect this from Nicki. Did you? Like, I didn't. I don't know. You did. Okay, tell me.
Yeah, ever since the Pulse thing, I already did.
What did she say? What did she do with the Pulse thing?
Remember, she was blocking the gays on Twitter.
Oh,
When they called her out.
Yes.
They said, "Hey, most of your fan base is gay. Are you going to, say something?"
Mm-hmm.
And she blocked anybody who questioned her. That told me everything I needed to know about the lady.
Yeah.
She's never uplifted the gay community in any way. She's just someone they've put on a platform, because of her antics, because of her lyrics, because of who she was, and she fed off of that, which was cool because that's what you do as that type of person in the industry. You use your fan base. And when you have artists like Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and others who are on that level, Cardi B, who basically take their fan base and then uplift them.
Yeah.
Nicki has never done that. And she's always told people who she was indirectly. She's always been this way. And now that she's come out fully in this way, I think that people are blindsided because they put her so much on a pedestal. But
100%.
I think this is a prime lesson for folks about putting anybody, including celebrities, on this pedestal.
Isn't she not American?
She's not.
Oh, I'm so confused.
She's not. She's an immigrant.
Okay.
She immigrated to New York. Her story is she came to this country, I think in her childhood. Well, no, in her childhood. And then she grew up in Queens. And then from Queens, she found the rap game. And her career catapulted from a mixtape. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, I mean, you see the news stories, like she was at this USA event, she's there, she was at the Melania premiere, which 3 people went to.
She called Don Lemon a cocksucker.
She called Don Lemon, I mean, it's nuts.
It's nuts. But I think she's aligning herself with where she feels safe.
Yeah, I guess.
For everything.
I guess.
For her
but
wealth,
I mean,
her...
And a lot of people, I read this whole thing on Black and brown people and how when they're Trumpers, so that they feel that if they're a part of, then they won't be attacked.
Yes, that has always been the fine line in America, or with oppression across any lines. But speaking as a Black American whose lineage came through slavery, I know this very well about the games that you have to play in order for, these are survival tactics.
Yeah.
So these aren't thriving tactics, these are survival tactics. So when Tiffany says she's lost her way, no, she's found her way. These are her survival instincts. Okay, I'm going to align with my Christian values. Her mom made a gospel album. People don't know that. Her mom made a gospel album. Her mom is heavy in the church. I believe her mom's a pastor or a minister.
Have you heard some of Nicki Minaj's lyrics? Really?
Yeah. But when you are a cisgendered straight woman, you can easily divert. All I got to do is say, Jesus in my heart. And
that's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
Girl, I'm a Christian. I am with you. I am aligned on these
But if
values.
you're queer, that doesn't align. That doesn't go anymore.
No. If you're anything outside of these boundaries, it doesn't align. But I am close with Jesus. Not only am I rocking with Jesus, I am rocking with these Christian nationalists because now I am American. I am American values. And as an immigrant to this country, you see how much of a citizen I am, how patriotic I am. So all of these things become a sacred symbol of a devotion to something, a devotion to not only patriotism, which is the nationalism, but also this religious ideology that tells you that everything and or other is wrong. So now as long as I align myself with this, I am protected in business. I am protected in my marriage. I am protected with my kids. So I don't have to go through all this bullshit y'all going through.
Wow. You
And
just
not
broke
only
it down.
that,
Holy crap.
I can network with all of these people at the top who they may not like me, but I'm safe under your arms, honey. So take us where you will, Mr. Administration.
Wow.
She's protecting her entity.
Yep, as a whole.
As a
100%.
whole.
Hi, Nicki. I'm still upset. Well, this is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to The FayWhat Show. Before we move forward, I want to remind you that the Florida AIDS Walk is almost here. Hotspots Happening Out is a beneficiary, and this money is going to allow us to continue the educational stories and segments on HIV/AIDS and so many other issues that affect our community. I'm walking, and I want my people with me. Register, donate, do something. Join me on March 21st and sign up at FloridaAIDSWalk.org under the Hotspots Happening Out team and look for FayWhat. Here at the FayWhat Show, we gotta help my gay boys. They are the blood that runs through my veins. And in our segment called Dear FayWhat, I provide my expert lesbian knowledge and my vast experience as a living, breathing gay boy to help my fellow gay boys. This week, emotionally available but exhausted sent us an email. Dear FayWhat, it's Valentine's Day again, and everyone keeps asking if I'm single, taken, or complicated. I'm honestly just tired. Is it wrong that I don't want roses, a prefix dinner, or a relationship status update this year? I kind of just want peace and maybe a good pair of shoes. Signed, emotionally available, but exhausted. Listen, baby, Valentine's Day is not a performance review. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't got to give no one romance or trauma or drama or anything. Whatever Valentine's Day looks like to you is what it is. Even if you're buying yourself chocolate or taking yourself out to get a massage. I mean, like, there's Valentine's, there's Galentine's, and there's just freaking Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, It doesn't, like, you know, when... Like, I always tell my wife, like, Valentine's Day is like the novice night to go out. I'm not taking you out for a dinner on that night when everything's more expensive, more packed and anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you in person at home and then I'll take you out to dinner the following weekend or something. You know what I mean? Like, just like, you know, I think you should do whatever makes your heart happy.
Save your money, Jill. Save your money. Save your money and curl up with yourself, okay?
Or your dog. Have you ever gone the day after Valentine's Day and seen all that chocolate for half off? That shit is like, that's when you should buy everybody this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, if you don't feel like dealing with nobody, you don't gotta deal with nobody. No, shit. I'm emotionally available but exhausted as well. I haven't had a Valentine
in a second.
In a minute, and I don't care. I'm happy single. Yeah, it feels better.
I know, but you're weird that way. Like,
I am.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like your bed, your space. You, like, Jay is very little and thin, but he uses his whole bed up in his own way. You know what I mean?
My house, my bed, my car.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to take away from new love and new relationships because Valentine's Day is important to you. I get, you know what I mean? Like, at that beginning time. But I also want you to understand that it's a fabricated holiday and that it's the universe's way of getting you to spend money on shit.
It's a marketing ploy.
You know, I mean,
it's
like,
a marketing ploy. It was made up, but it's a pagan holiday, number one, that was made for marketing so that you could go out and spend your money, just like Black Friday and Christmas and all these other damn made up holidays, Joe. They're just trying to get you to spend your money. You can celebrate love any day and any way that you feel
exactly
that you want to. If you want to spend love on yourself, okay. Your pet, yes. Your partner, your partners, if that is so what you desire. Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your family. However you want to spend your love currency from your heart, go ahead and just make that up.
100%. And to other folks that maybe don't have a Valentine, like what Jay touched on, right? All relationships deserve love. right? So your friend, someone who always has your back, your neighbor that takes care of your plants when you're not around, right? A little Valentine's Day card ain't hurt nobody. They have them for very cheap at the dollar store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's something that you want to send out with minimal, cool. You know what I
And if you
mean?
have a single bestie and you're a single bestie, y'all go out and have bestie Valentine's Day, you know?
And that's it.
cute.
That's it. Usually your bestie know you better than, some of these dates that you found on Grindr. I'm just saying. So keep those emails coming at FayWhat@happeningout.com. And this is an important conversation for our LGBTQ plus community. Help us tell these important stories by liking and subscribing to The FayWhat Show. All right, folks, if this next face feels familiar, well, it should, okay? Because Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero is back on the FayWhat Show, and I couldn't be happier. So Harold joined us last year when we were talking about queer faith, safe schools, and what it really means to protect our kids and our community. And now he's back, stepping into an even bigger moment and an even bigger role. This is Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero, the new Executive Director of Pridelines and minister at the historic Unitarian Universalist congregation of Miami, a queer faith leader, healer, and a creative force committed to authenticity, inclusion, and collective healing. Harold, welcome back to the FayWhat Show, boo!
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back.
I adore you. I adore your spirit, your energy, your love, everything. Thank you for being back on the show.
Yes, I mean, I told you I'll be back, and
You did say that. You were like, I'll be back. And I was like, yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger said that. I got it.
No, I love being on here. I love you. I love what you do in the community. You're such. It's so nice that I see you everywhere. Like all the events, all the major events. There's Faye. There's Faye doing what Faye does best, which is just bring sunshine and light to the spaces that need it the most.
Thank you so much. Harold, listen, now more than ever, man, we have to be out there representing no matter what.
Yeah.
I recall there being a time where it was like me being a Latina lesbian was like the fifth thing that I told you about myself, right? Well, now it's the first because I need everybody to know that I am a daughter of immigrants that, if they didn't come here how they did, I wouldn't be sitting here right now as a U.S. born, person. It's like we need to shine now more than ever. And you're doing that also, It's scary times,
It is.
kid.
It's scary times, but I do feel that the times that we're living in are, we're living through history. And this is the thing that a lot of people like when you learn about history in school or when you just talk about general history, people often ask, how would I have acted? How would I have responded if that was happening to me, if it was happening in my backyard, if it was my country that was going through, the horrors of Germany, Italy,
Fascism, just say it.
Yeah. And guess what? We are going through it. So we are in the midst of all of that is happening in this country and in other parts of the world. There's this movement towards extremism that is just it's not who we are, and it's not what I thought the world would look like at this point in time.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm also seeing it as an opportunity for our community to come together and for people who just love pluralism and love, diversity and love to learn new things from others to come together and say, this is who we want to be.
Yeah.
We don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And we were never that.
We were never that.
I feel like we got, it all got taken from us. And now we have to stand up and say, no, that's not it.
Yeah. And when we get it back, I think we would be so appreciative of it, right? Because it's like for a lot of us, we weren't around for Stonewall. We don't know what that's about, right? I've met some younger queers that don't even know about that. Harold, yo me quedo fría. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what? Do you know what 9/11 is? Okay, well, that was our 9/11. You know what I mean? Like, or do you know what the AIDS crisis is about? I mean, all these budget cuts, right? And us not helping globally, the scare is there.
Yeah. It's a shame that they're utilizing our health and just like the safety of who we are as a community, and they're messing with that. They're trying to take away medications, access to medication for thousands of people right here in Florida. That's almost criminal. If you were to really look at it from a big picture, big history perspective, people would look back at this time and be like, what was going on in their minds to think that you can just kick a bunch of people out of life-saving medication, and B, how you have contributed, how we contributed as the collective we, to people now dying of something that they were dependent on our country to give access to.
Yeah, and they had access to for years and years, and now they don't, or now they'll lose some of that access. And they've cut so much funding, and it seems like targeted towards our community. But the sad realism about it, Harold, is that Miami is the number one when it comes to new infections, right? And the folks who are acquiring those new infections are Black or brown women.
Yes.
Not all of them are gay. You know what I mean? So like they're targeting our community, but in such a vile way, they're not. They're still also taking out Black and brown people.
Right. Well, that's really what it's always been about, unfortunately, where it's like, who does this mostly impact? Well, it impacts the people that we don't really care for to begin with.
Yeah.
So
that's the message.
That's the message.
That's the message.
And that's what it was in the 80s. That's what it is now, and it stems from a lack of empathy and a lack of love for your neighbor.
A lack of love.
Yes.
Yeah, a lack of love. Yeah. It's you've lived at the intersection of faith, queerness, and leadership, okay? And those spaces don't always welcome us.
No.
Where did your spiritual calling first come from?
I just, to be honest, I never felt unloved by whatever you want to call God. I felt unloved by humans, by the people that claim to follow this God or this way of living. But I never felt unloved by the grandeur of what God is. And because of that, I always knew that there was something special in our spirituality, in human spirituality, that can allow us to become the best of who we were always meant to be. It's almost it's like an orientation towards possibility, towards hope, towards love that transcends limitations, that transcends the pettiness of who we are. And it's having that understanding of faith, that faith is the beginning of something and not the end, really is where I draw strength, and what always really inspired me to do the work that I do.
Wow. But you've been part of LGBTQ affirming churches for years.
Yeah.
Why does queer faith leadership still matter right now?
Oh, it matters. I think now, not now more than ever, but now we're in a crisis point that religious leaders who are affirming of our community not only need to speak up, but need to stand in the trenches with us and need to say publicly from their pulpits, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This is not how we do things. This is not who we are. And I do feel that one of the things that you learn when you're doing research, and I did a lot of research on this for my dissertation, was that there's a fear to be honest, to speak honestly from the pulpit, and that comes from a fear of the people who you're speaking to, the people in the pews, and having them take away the donations or having them walk away from the congregation or whatever. But the thing is that by not speaking truth to what's happening in the world, you are telling those who are sitting in the pews that whatever it is that they're learning, or whatever it is that they think Christ, God, Jesus, love, whatever it is that they're thinking of, approves of how the world is. And that's just not it. I mean, like, I have a hard time with even, like, you know, like fundamentalist right-wing evangelical Christians, because it's like everything you're saying, everything you're doing, and everything that you're supporting is the antithesis to Christ. It's the Antichrist.
Yeah.
So you're
like, if Christ means love, you're
right.
doing the opposite.
You're doing
of
the exact opposite. And not only that, but you also have the whole, you know, like, I don't understand how you can pick up any Bible and read the Gospels and say, oh, well, it's okay for them to be doing X in Minneapolis. It's okay for us to not say a single thing about it. It's okay for us to start saying that empathy is actually part of the woke
being
virus.
woke. Yeah.
And it's like, what? Like,
how did that happen?
where are you? Like, what universe do you exist in that you have taken this concept of empathy, of trying to, you know, feel and understand your neighbor more deeply, and saying that this is not what you're called to do? It's like, that is exactly what you're called to do.
I don't understand why those certain folks from the right can pick and choose what they want to grab from the Bible.
Yeah, and then blame, and then say that we're doing the exact same thing.
And then say we're doing the same
thing. Like, everyone here is playing this game. You know, like, we're all playing this game. Like, at least the game that we're playing is a game that's saying, I love this person because of who they are. You're playing some other game that is saying, I am going to hide behind my faith in order to showcase my hatred towards others.
Yeah. Yeah. But Harold, wasn't the Bible translated 1 million times by different people? And I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I had the privilege, and I'm still so blessed that I was able to go to the Vatican, right? Mm-hmm. You know, in Rome with Darrell Watkins, with the two bishops, you know, Robert and Darrell, right? So they were able to go, okay, you see this painting? Yeah, this person in the back was actually trans.
Right.
You know, let me explain this to you. You know what I mean? And it wasn't, you know, queer fairy tale hour. They were facts. You know what I mean? That you will never ever hear from another pulpit that is yours here, Unity on the Bay. You'll never hear from any other place these real things. Yeah. You know, we're not trying to pick and choose. We're just trying to go with what the Christ spirit meant, which was love. You know,
love, yeah. and it goes beyond love. It's the you know, the Christ concept. Christ is Greek for Messiah. And the messianic concept comes from the Hebrew Bible, comes from the prophets. And what's so important to understand is that those people, the people that wrote the Bible during the Babylonian conquest, which happened in 587 BCE, before the Common Era. They had suffered something so traumatic. You know, they lost the temple where they felt God existed, was burned down and destroyed by Babylonians. They lost the city that they had felt was, you know, the city chosen by God, which was Jerusalem. Its walls were breached, the city was burned, and the top of that society was forced into exile. They were literally taken from their homes and forced to immigrate to Babylon, to start over in a foreign land, in a foreign place. And that was a tool for the empire, which was Babylon, to completely, you know, destroy those people. But what they did is like, no, they wrote their stories down. They took the stories of their oppressors and made it into their own. They said, you know, the Babylon, and back then the understanding of gods is that there were the gods, there were many gods, and there was, you know, the main god and then all the little gods that were around them, and the humans were created to serve the gods, right? Mm-hmm. The Jewish experience, the experience that we see in the Hebrew Bible, is really one of the first times that any human said that, no, actually, we are created in the image of the divine, as partners in creation, as partners in the universe. We're a
not
reflection.
separate.
That's not separate. We are part of the divine. The divine is a part of us. That is unique into that experience. And then they were also one of the first ones to be monotheistic. In that it separates, it takes away all of the deities and, condenses it into one. And that one is a reflection of who we are, the best of who we are.
I love that.
But it also has the worst of who we are. Chaos is real, and all of these things exist. So I do feel that the messianic message, that hope, that understanding of what Christ is really a story of survival in adversity. It's a story of hope when you feel hopeless.
Yeah.
It's a story of serving others to the point that you will give your life up for another person.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no greater love than they who give their lives up for their friends. I mean, that's like that's in there, and that is the concept of what Christ is, of what the messianic hopes and expectations are, where they were birthed in a time of great trauma. These people were traumatized.
Yeah.
But yet in that trauma they created something so beautiful
Yeah.
that we are still talking about today, that has become a part of our history, a part of who we are. And unfortunately is also being used
Against us.
And in very horrific ways. I mean, the attacks on immigration, the attacks on the immigrants is something that for me, it's like low-hanging fruit for people that want to be aggressive, and for people that are looking for a reaction from other people.
Yeah, you're Cuban, correct?
I'm Cuban. I came here on a boat. I am that person that, if I didn't have my citizenship, I would be in trouble. I would worry, and I still worry.
That's
Even
what
though
I'm
I have
saying.
my
You
stuff,
still,
I
but
still
that's what I'm
worry.
saying. You're brown, honey.
Yeah.
I would still be
The moment
worried.
I leave, the moment I leave Miami-Dade.
Like right now, when we're airing this show, 300,000 Haitians have lost their temporary stay.
Yeah.
And now they're up for being deported as well.
Right.
I mean, again, like I told you before, it's scary times.
Yes, but it's also so un-American. It's anti-American to be this aggressive towards the immigrant community when we are a nation that was built by immigrants.
That was built on immigrants.
We are a nation that our greatness is tied to our diversity.
This is the melting pot that it is. I mean, and the thing is that we're around the same age, Harold. We grew up in that time where it was come one, come all. That was part of the shtick about the U.S.
Right.
So for now, at this age, to hear all this going against that is so against everything that we've grown up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's where are we? Wake me up. You know what I mean?
And that's why I feel let down by a system that said this is not who we are, and this is not whoever we will become. Because I'm seeing us become that, and it's so easy. It's so easy. And I was speaking to a friend, the friend that came to visit this weekend. She said that she watched a movie or a series about Mussolini and his rise to power in Italy, and she says that in the series, the character that plays Mussolini breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience while things are happening.
Oh.
And one of the lines that she said that he said was that boundaries exist until they don't. And then when you cross it and no one does anything, then you know that you can get away with anything.
Yeah.
And that's
so true.
And that's what we're experiencing now. People are getting away with things that we all collectively agree that this is not how we are.
Yeah.
But yet they keep pushing the boundary, keep going over the line, and nothing happens. There's no consequences to their actions.
Nothing.
No accountability. No one is doing anything. Our checks and balances are not working.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm as a Cuban, that our last election, Miami went red in a second.
Yep.
I'm married to a Cuban, and she was very upset.
Yeah.
She was very upset at her own people, right? And that's something to be hard, It's hard to do that. You know what I mean? Because here in South Florida, if you're Cuban, you're raised to be proud of who you are, right? And there's so many Cubans that it's like collectively, you guys kind of own Miami,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then for Cubans and Venezuelans, I'm not going to leave Venezuelans out, to go vote Trump so hard and then now see that they might have made a mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you encounter that with people around you?
I do. You know, my family also voted red and overwhelmingly,
Wow.
and I feel that, you know, like, because of empathy, I understand the why. I get it. You were so traumatized by the environment that you grew up in Cuba. You
The
were
dictatorship.
the dictatorship, the false communism, the false socialism, whatever they want to call it, that whenever someone tells you that they're trying to protect you from the thing that you were traumatized, you cling on to it, even
believe
though
it.
you believe it, even though that's not what's happening. And you also, because you grew up in a strong, you know, it's called the strong man theory, or the strong person. You grew up in that, so when it happens to you, you don't really see it as a problem. It's like, oh no, this is what I grew up in. So it's like toxic family systems. It's if you grew up in a toxic family and then you meet a toxic spouse and they treat you the same way that your toxic family treated you, you think that's normal.
Yeah.
But it's not normal.
Because you survived it this
Yes.
way, so you're like, okay, I'll survive it again. It's
Yeah.
fine, but it's not.
It's not. And you know, I would get so upset about people from other countries that would come and say like, oh well, you know, like what he's doing is great and this and that, and I'm like, nowhere in the history that I can think of, any of this was normal. It might be normal in your countries. It
Yeah.
might be normal in Brazil. It might be normal in South America. It might be normal in Central
Venezuela,
America,
yes.
in Venezuela, but it's not normal here.
Yeah.
So to see it happen, like the January 6th insurrection,
And everybody pardoned.
everybody pardoned, and that to me, like I truly lost any respect for the party or for people that were just saying, well, let's give him a chance. Let's give them a chance. Let's see how they do. No, that event to me was so scary, and it is such an attack on our democracy and an attack of who we are and who we say we are.
Yeah.
That I lost our respect. So like when people, you know, I don't understand how people can just like move beyond what happened in January 6th and try to like make sense of it. It's like, oh no, it was Antifa or it was whatever. It's like, no, these people were carrying Confederate flags, crosses, and they looked like a bunch of like lunatics.
They killed people.
They killed people.
Nobody even talks about that. The poor family of that officer must be like, coño, this country gives three shits about me.
Right. And it's always so interesting that the ones who are all about protect, you know, like respect the law, respect the
Constitution, and,
the police force, all these things, are the same people that killed a cop.
Well, I mean, you just killed an ICU nurse. I mean,
Right.
these, you know what I mean? I've seen the videos. You've seen the videos.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, they also killed Miss Good. I mean, like, you know, and both of them were white. What are they going to do to any of us? You
Right.
know, I mean, it's. Anyway, I could talk forever about this with Harold. So let me move on to the next subject, because if not, I'm gonna keep him on this. All right, we got to talk about Pridelines. Okay, so let's talk about Pridelines.
Let's talk about Pridelines.
This is not an easy chapter. Okay, Pridelines isn't just a building; it's a lifeline for many people in this community. And you're stepping into Pridelines during a moment of instability. Okay, leadership turnover, staff frustration of whoever's left there. I'm not sure what's going on with the board. You postponed the gala. What made you say yes to this big jumble of stuff that you've got to attack?
Possibility. Because yes,
You answered that quickly too.
because it's true. Like, it's Pridelines has such a it's part of the fabric of the queer history of Miami-Dade. It's part of the fabric of queer history in the United States. You know, it was something that was started after the Anita Bryant attack on our community. It was started by a bunch of young people that said, we want a safe space to just be us, to exist, to be our most authentic selves, to flourish. And that's how Pridelines got started. Throughout as all organizations that survive through the many years that Prideline has been around, there are always ups and downs, and there will continue to be ups and downs, no matter what. But I remember being a young, queer kid in high school, and hearing about Pridelines. I remember walking into their old building that they had that center, and I was like, "Oh, this is so impressive! Like, look at this place that's giving community
on
to the
Fourth
people,
Court. On Fourth Court, yes,
the
I
people
remember
that needed it the most. Look at this place that has brought in other nonprofits too to do the work that needs to get done in the city, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would have the honor or even the I don't even know how to say it, because it's one of those things, like, I never thought that this would come to me, and I never thought that I would be at a place in my life that I was able to now help write the next chapter of what Pridelines is and who Pridelines is going to become.
You got a lot of work to do, my friend.
I do.
I don't even know where to begin with that one. Listen, I've helped with the gala. I was very, very entwined into Pridelines during a certain time of their time, right? Because it was in Miami. I really wanted to help support, my wife worked there for a short period of time. I remember having conversations with Victor Diaz Herman.
Yeah.
And just him, he's a product of Pridelines. You know what I mean? Him telling me, him being a queer kid and going in there, and then fast forward to him being the ED of the place for many years, you know? And it was just that. I was like, wow, this place is the fabric of what it means to be LGBTQ in Miami, you know? And they had big dreams about, what to do and incorporate Broward and blah, 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 and then a lot of things went south, unfortunately. And I don't want to give too much light to that, because there's certain things that still haven't been followed through 100%, and it's not our place to talk about them, right? Because we were both not there.
Right. I wasn't there. You were in there. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, but I will ask questions that I want to know answers to. When services were disrupted, people were left without care. And one of your locations was in Alapata, which is an area that so desperately needs any kind of help, Do you know what happened to the people that Pridelines was actively helping?
So I wasn't there for that time, so I'm not really sure, but I do know that all the procedures were followed to move whoever it is was getting services from those locations and removed to other providers that are now giving them the services that they need, that they continue to utilize. Because
you weren't doing any of those services from the hub that you were working out of, the visitor center.
So we were, and it's more nuanced than that, because we were doing it. We're still technically in the process of fixing all that and getting all that situated, but yeah, I mean, it from what I understand and from what I've heard from my team is that there was a lot of there's a lot of things that were put up and that was just thrown into the air, and now I'm going in there with their help, because the team that's there to survive is an amazing team. Their heart is in the right place. They have this immense sense of service for the community. And that to me is like, that's gold. Like, I have a great team.
And those people were there when you got there?
Those people, well, yes. One of them started like maybe like a year before. And then the other one is an institution in Miami, Eddie.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. So he
And he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yes,
oh my
and
God.
I've leaned into him a lot on like, tell me what was going on. Since he wasn't, he worked there, but he wasn't he wasn't part of the
executive team.
The executive team.
Yeah.
I get a much more nuanced understanding of what was happening from that level. Because I hear what happened on the top, and now I'm getting what's happening in the bottom, and the truth is somewhere in between there. So, it has given me the ability to try to not just try to understand what happened before, but put procedures in place that will ensure that never happens again.
Yeah,
and that the next chapter of Pridelines is one that is going to allow us to thrive once again and to be that community space for the entirety of our community.
Yeah,
because Pridelines is an older organization. I mean, it's been on for
I think it's
over
like 47
40
years or something.
Yes, and I was actually speaking to. I'm very fortunate that I know a lot of people in the community, and I'm friendly with a lot of people in the community that were part of that time, that historical time in Miami. In fact, one of them is Cindy Brown, who was
I love Cindy.
Yeah, she was the one that said, like, Harold, try for Pridelines, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, so you applied for the Pridelines. They didn't come looking for you.
I know. I applied.
Holy
applied
crap.
for
Pridelines. You guys are so lucky.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's God sent. Literally. Literally. Okay, so let me get this. So you lost the Alapata. That's not a thing anymore. It doesn't belong to you guys anymore.
No.
You're just out of the hub in Miami Beach.
Yes.
Correct?
And the future for us is going to be we're going to open up smaller spaces across the city by leaning into the spaces that are welcoming us, which are the queer affirming spaces. The churches, the synagogues. I'm working with a synagogue down in Miami to see if we can set up some meeting space, or to create groups for other synagogues that want to have
a meeting space. Yeah.
I'm also working with the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Miami. Luigi is there, and Luigi is he's amazing. He was an ED for Pridelines as well, and I'm leaning into their knowledge and their wealth of wisdom to be like, what made Pridelines successful back then, and how can we bring what worked into the present so that it serves us in the future.
Yeah.
And Luigi has been great about this. And he said, Harold, one of the main things that we did is that we were utilizing the spaces that wanted us there. So Pridelines was originally a Temple Israel. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, let's do those things again. Like let's have. So we're opening up the what I want to call the Dayland Center at the Unitarian Universalist
near you.
congregation.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, we'll do youth groups. We'll do support care for people who are living with HIV. That can come and do some support groups. And there we'll do some, Luigi wants to bring back the Lavender Salon, which was like a get together that they used to do with people from Pridelines and in the past.
I know people that are in 12-step programs that, their lifelines were those get-togethers that Pridelines had. Maybe it was a painting thing or it was a game night or whatever it was, but that camaraderie and that group really helped a lot of young people.
Yes, yes, and we're facing a loneliness epidemic in this country, and it affects our community as well. And if I can do programming and set up spaces that can help alleviate that loneliness, that can bring people together to just talk, not to learn something or to have to go into like this whatever with an agenda, just give people a space to learn from one another. To enjoy a night out, to enjoy 100%. Good food, good music, 100%. that is needed. And Miami used to, I always hear from I've always been someone that I love hanging out with people who are not my age. I
Te gusta lo viejo.
Yeah, I love but I don't mind people my age, because my husband's my age. But
to get that knowledge.
To just sit and be like, wow, tell me about how things work. Tell me about the struggles that you face that I no longer face, but it's because of you that I don't face these struggles. One of the things that I've always heard is that Miami used to be such a spot for hangout spaces for our community. It wasn't just twists or score or whatever, is there now, or the gathering, which I love the gathering. But we had spaces on the mainland. We had spaces that we used to go to that were ours, that that you can just exist and be yourself in. And my hope, my goal is with Pridelines with our partners is to bring back those spaces, so that we can once again come together and face the adversity that's coming, because things are not going to get easier.
No.
Things are not going to, and it's not even about politics. Yes, politics will one day yes, one day no. What's happening to our world, what's happening with our climate, what's happening with the instability that we're seeing, those things are only going to get harder and harder and harder. So it is so important for us to develop these safe lines, to develop these, these pride lines that can keep us together, that can keep us afloat, that can keep us from going under, under the immensity of everything that is happening. I mean, it is overwhelming. There are days that I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
so
what
heavy.
is it today?
Like it's so heavy, and there's just something about fellowship, right? I'm sober, and honestly, what kept me there is a group of people being in the same crap that I'm in, and understanding what I'm going, or not understanding what I'm going, that helped me more than the words on the books that I had to memorize and all that,
and we need those sober spaces. It's
there's a lot more people sober these days.
Oh my gosh, like it's so interesting to me to see how there are people who are my age and younger who are choosing to be sober, just because it's like, I don't need to chase that to be happy. I can do that through community. I can do it through other means. And something that I feel like that Pridelines and others in the community can really lean into is to provide those spaces where you can get a mocktail, and the mocktails are actually done really well by like a good mixer. That can give you that experience of socializing without the need of the substance. Because our people, because we're so traumatized and there's so much hurt in our community, we do tend to abuse substances at high levels, and if I can work and try to develop spaces that can create an alternative,
then you're gonna do it.
That's what I'm
and you're gonna do it. But you still got to clean up a lot of stuff before you do all that, Harold.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
A lot of cleanup happening.
You've always been so transparent. You just are, right? It's like, I'm working on this. I'm going to try to get into this. This might not work. This might work, You're never one to seem to be hiding what you're going through. You know what I mean? So we got to talk about transparency, you know what I mean? So there's been public reports and community concerns about money that was allegedly misused or missing under past leadership that, again, you weren't there for and you didn't have a hand in, okay? Get that all in, folks, all right? So where does that situation stand now?
So we've cleared a lot of that stuff up. We hired a team that has helped us make sense of what was, to make sense of what was gossip and what is real.
Thank you.
So,
God.
there's a lot of gossip. I mean,
there's a lot of BS.
Before I started, there were things that I was hearing that I had to sit with them and okay, this is what I heard. I heard this, and that, and they were like, okay, yes, no, maybe, so
we're still checking on that one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But I will say that the team, the leadership team that took over after what happened, really stepped up and ensured that for many reasons that Pridelines was able to stabilize itself once again. And they and this is not just the board, but even other staff people that were there. They helped usher Pridelines through a very dark point in their in the history of the organization. You know, it's interesting how to see that Pridelines has truly had these like high highs and low lows.
Yeah.
And to me, it is a testament to the community and to who they are, that in those low lows that would have really that were so low that any other nonprofit I think would have closed down.
Would have closed down.
Pridelines said no.
Yeah.
Pridelines said we're gonna continue to do this. This is important, and people came in and stepped up and helped.
Yeah.
So that's why I said yes.
So was the money misused?
I don't know, and there are things that I can't speak about right now because of a bunch of different things that are still happening.
Have any charges been filed?
I don't know. I can. There's
Okay.
There's things that I can't say with those things.
Okay. How are you ensuring do you still have the same board?
No, we have a new board. We have some members that were there through it, but we're in the process of redeveloping the board. Is your head person on the board still there? No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a new board chair.
Okay.
He's amazing.
Okay.
And we're working collaboratively, not just to ensure that there are checks and balances between the board and the true oversight.
Yeah.
But that there's also clear lines of communication between what my experience is on the everyday, operations of the organization and what I'm reporting to the board of like, this is what I'm seeing. This is where, this is where we need help in. This is where I need some support in trying to bring people together, or trying to bring this donor in, or trying to do certain things. And those lines of communications and that ability to be transparent between, with the oversight and the people who are running day-to-day operations is so important. Because I have seen so many nonprofits with good intention boards get lost in the minutia of like, well, we didn't know this, we didn't know that, or this is what is, and this is what isn't. And my goal has always, the way that I want to operate things and I want to run things, and this is from when I was in churches to now, is always, I'm going to give you as much information as I know. Because I never want someone to say like, well, we didn't know this was happening. It's like, no. Here's the email. Here's the data. Here's the timestamp where I sent you this was happening. And that's not a I don't want to use that tool to protect myself, but it's more of like to protect the organization from bad actors.
100%.
Because bad actors are always going to come. Like we're always going to have bad actors.
They're everywhere.
So we have to protect organizations. We have to double verify, check people's statuses, check people's backgrounds. Don't just believe someone that comes in with a title and be like, oh, well, that's
I have
title.
47 degrees.
Yeah, it's like let's just double check, verify things. And one of the funny things is like when I was applying, I'm like, I not only did I take a picture of all my diplomas, but I'm happy to send you my transcripts because I want to be so
transparent like you are. Yes,
this is the truth of who I am. This is what I have worked so hard to achieve. I don't want anyone to ever say, oh, well, you didn't tell us. It's like, no, I'm telling you everything.
Yeah. When you got there and you agreed to take this job, was the board already eliminated?
The board was already
eliminated.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because there was someone that was put in prior who I super respected her. She was coming from West Palm Beach,
right.
An incredible soul, so smart, so dynamic. And it seemed, and this is just my opinion from our conversations, that she was like this.
Right.
Because of the board. And you can't be an ED if you're like this.
Right.
But you just can't. Again, you have to work together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which was also why I was confused by the money fraud and all that shit, because I don't know anything about nonprofits. I work for one. I'm very well aware, but I don't deal with that kind of aspect of it. And I thought that like, if a check has to be written, if people even still use checks, that it would be a board member and it would be you. You know what I mean? I would think that things would need dual
authentication,
checks and balances for that to happen, you know? So when that came out, I was like, okay, so who's in the wrong? They should all be picked up then.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that also helps with what you're saying and being super transparent, because you want to make sure that, hey, this is it. This is me coming in naked.
Yes.
Let me know everything.
Yes.
You know?
And I've been lucky and also unfortunate that I am starting with this organization from square one. Lucky in that I'm starting from square one.
Yeah.
Very
difficult,
but at least I know that what the foundation that I'm laying out right now is one that is going to survive, and it's one that is going to be based on that transparency, on that honesty, on that, that way of doing things. The unfortunate part about it is that I'm starting with a team that it's one of my team members. He's newer, so there's no organizational history. Eddie knows everything, so Eddie's great at that.
Yeah.
But I had a program manager that happily resigned, and the reason for resigning was that it was almost like I help stabilize this organization. I feel that it is in good hands right now, and I need to take a step back from my own personal, from my growth, my future,
for your mental health.
For mental health, and I get it. I get it. Like, yes, everyone was on edge. Like everyone, and
how could you not
happens.
be?
How could you not be?
I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Funded, not funded, being a part of this, not being welcome to this, being not welcome to that.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are all like walking tiptoe in spaces that you used to stomp in.
Right. And I feel like what I bring into this role now is that I am someone very dear to me told me this recently. It's like, you are an outsider. Yes, I know everybody, and a lot of people know me, but I am an outsider. I mean, I'm not part of the same group of people that are always pictured in different events. I've always been in the orbits of these organizations, but I've never been in it. And that gives me a perspective of like, I can, whatever drama, whatever thing, whatever gossip exists, I'm coming in this fresh. I'm coming in this as a new person.
Yeah.
And I also have the religious spaces that I have connections with, and that I can mobilize, and I can help with collaborations, not just with Pridelines, but with other nonprofits that I'm still very much,
everybody
love.
knows you.
I mean, I want to work with Aqua Foundation for Women. We're doing a lot of joint programming now, because we don't compete, and like you said, who are the ones that are being affected now by HIV, by new infection rates?
Yeah,
women,
Black and brown women.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Aqua is needed now more than ever.
That's true.
So as in this new position, as in Pridelines, I want to help Aqua do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
I want to with Safe Schools, work with Safe Schools to go into the schools, to talk to the educators, to do the things that we all needed to do. And what's beautiful about it is that these are all like historic organizations that need to really work together in order to do maximum amount of impact.
100%. But we weren't hugged enough as children.
Right.
Okay. And we're always thinking like, no, this is mine.
Right.
If you take a little bit of mine, then I'm not going to have enough. And that's what every organization that's queer led feels like to some degree, instead of doing what you're saying, collaborating and being able to reach more people.
And the kind of beautiful thing about AHF is that AHF does gives us the opportunity to do those things and fundraise while we're doing it. Mm-hmm. Pridelines is again part of the AIDS Walk, and we're a full beneficiary, which means that every dollar you give gets matched by AHF. That is awesome.
That's a
that
lifeline.
Doesn't exist anywhere.
No,
that is a lifeline. And what I want to showcase more is that we can make a much bigger impact in our community by not being islands upon ourselves, but by building bridges between one another. And if you do something really well, there's no reason why Pridelines has to enter into a space and do it.
Yeah.
I will support you to do that. We can join sponsor things. We can do things, like do new things, and Pridelines can sponsor that event, or you can sponsor this event for Pridelines. When it comes to Aqua, bringing back Aqua Girl is going to be so important, because that was a place that women were able to hang out.
It was the first place that I went,
things,
and I was like, wow, I get to be out and free, and nobody's gonna judge me, and we get to be in bikinis. I'm there.
Yeah, so we want to bring back Aqua Girl, and I'm gonna tap you for all these things too, because it's so important to the good people in our community, the ones that are doing the work, the ones that are making a difference and truly are showing up every day. Those are the people that I want to empower. Those are the people that I want to continue to put up on pedestals and be like, look, these are good people. These are the people that are going to help you. These are the people that are going to stand with you and stand with us through the good times and the bad times. And being now here at Pridelines, I see those people. And you're one of them, like
babe.
And when I told you, like I it was...
This man, he has no tact sometimes, okay? He can't go, hey, give me 2 minutes, or, oh yeah, we need to have a phone call, okay? Call me sometime during the week. I mimo in the middle of an event. He's like, hey, it's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Kisses, kisses. Oh, I like your dress. Hey, I'm the new ED from Pridelines. I'm going to go get a piece of bread. I'll be back.
And I know, I kind of like do it on you like that, but honestly, like you are that person that gives me hope. And even Lisette from the chamber.
Oh, I love Lisette.
Yeah, when the first day that I walked into the office, she gave me this big hug, and she's like, I am so happy that I did see you. And I have never felt so welcome in a new position ever in my life as Lisette allowed, like imparted onto me. And the reaction, the reaction that I get when I tell them I'm the new ED of Pridelines is always like, ooh, are you sure? But then I'm like, but then it's like, okay, but I guess, some people have said that if anyone can do it, I guess like you can do it.
I mean, again, and that's across the board, Harold. Yo te dije lo mismo.
Yeah.
I think that just get used to the initial shock.
Yeah.
Just because there's, you know what I mean? Like, in a short period of time, those people did a lot of damage.
Yes.
Unnecessarily.
Yes.
And unfortunately, in our community, we love to help, but we also like to judge. And we can't keep a secret. We will tell all our friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just how we are. You would think that we would be more united. So get used to that shock, but also embrace and take in the energy that comes in with, oh, but if anybody can do it, it's you.
Yeah.
Because in that same breath, I felt that. Like, I could feel and a lot of it is also like, coño, I don't want you to go through hardship either.
Right.
You
yes,
know what
and
I mean?
It's yes, and I get that. I get it from other people too, that they're like, it's going to be, and it is, it's a journey. It's going to be a struggle for us to get Pridelines back to where it needs to be. But the funny thing is that I don't want to do what Pridelines was doing. I don't want to bring bring it back to the golden age. It's like we can develop a new golden age. We can respond to the community, to what our needs are right now. And we're so because we're starting from square one, we're so fluid right now to respond and to create programming and to establish ourselves in the spaces that we've always been there, but we kind of like lost sight of in trying to be something that I think got us off mission. So it's a returning back to our core mission, which is to be that center for our community. But it's also understanding that the people who Pridelines first helped are now in their 40s and 50s. The people who started Pridelines are now in their 50s and 60s. There's a whole generational component of people that have walked through those doors, people that have engaged with Pridelines that now allow the organization to re-engage those people where they're at right now in this moment in time. So my goal is to really create this more holistic understanding of what it means to be LGBTQ plus, what it means to be queer, what it means to be someone that you survived the AIDS crisis and you're not like, you're in these silver years and you're like, whoa, I never thought I would get here.
Yeah.
But then also teach the young people of what happened during that time, that you went to funerals almost every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like we forget, like there's this collective amnesia that I think like everybody gets, and this is not just part of our community, it's everywhere. But that collective amnesia is contained by conversations between one another.
Yeah.
By creating safe spaces for those who have gone through it, to teach those who don't know anything about it, but then those that are living out their living out their truth in new and creative ways can teach these other people of like, yes, we use different language, we use different things, and that's and it's because of you all that we're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And then there's everybody else in between. There are people, there are queer parents, there are people that are trying to make families. They are there's a whole section of our community that is just trying to navigate different ways of being together, different ways of forming family, different ways of even having relationships. That it is important for us to acknowledge it and to engage it and to create the space where everyone can kind of learn from one another. Yeah. And that is where I want to take Pridelines into, which is really what I think it's bringing it back to the basics.
Yep.
Of creating this community.
Yep.
And this community space for all.
Amen. Yeah, I said that. All right, Harold. So it's time to play a little game before I let you go. I don't know if you remember from last time, but it's called Say What with FayWhat, and it's fast answers, no overthinking.
All right.
Just your first instinct. All right?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Sacred or secular?
So say again, sacred or secular?
Sacred or secular?
Secular.
Silence or protest?
Protest.
Therapy or prayer?
Therapy.
Tradition or disruption?
Tradition.
Call it out or call it in?
Call it in.
Beach sunrise or drag brunch?
Ooh, drag brunch.
Cafecito or cold brew?
Cafecito.
Miami traffic or church meeting?
Miami traffic.
Flip-flops or dress shoes?
Dress shoes.
Confession or group chat?
Group chat.
Early morning prayer or late night text?
Late night text.
Saints or sinners?
Both.
Ooh, I love that. All right. Wow. That tells me everything. Final question. What gives you hope right now?
What gives me hope right now is this conversations, being in this bed with you, is seeing how the country is reacting to the horrors that are happening around us. And honestly, like just being in community and being with other people is what gives me not only hope, but it gives me the energy that allows me to do it again the next day, and then do it again the next day,
and then do it again
the next day.
And then, yeah. He's faith, so he also does it on Sunday twice.
Then on Sunday, yeah. So it's a lot.
Well, folks, this is leadership. This is faith. This is honestly queer resilience. And I'm so glad that I was able to have Harold in bed with me today. Harold, help me finish this interview by looking into that camera and giving them your best FayWhat.
FayWhat.
Okay, I love it. That was perfect.
And I'll be back again.
You will be back again.
I'm telling you all now, I'm going to come back and we can do another segment on something else that you want to do.
Yes, I want to talk about church stuff. I'm always so
Yes.
confused about church stuff, and I always get comments from you folks also about it. So I need Harold to come back with our questions and
Yes.
see if he can, diagnose us with, not being lost with the Bible.
We can do a whole thing about the Hebrew Bible. We can do a whole historical segment. We can do whatever you want to do.
Whatever. We'll just make it fun. We'll just add drag queens.
Yes, exactly.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, follow Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero at Instagram under Rev Dr. Marrero. Facebook also at The Harold Marrero. Follow Pridelines, and also keep your eyes on Pridelines because this next chapter truly matters. And I have a feeling that we're going to be surprised.
I know we are.
Right?
Thank you.
We'll be right back. So that's it. That's the FayWhat show. I hope that you had fun. Thank you so much to my boo, Jamal Starks. Give me a kiss. Mwah. Tomorrow I have my early year reading.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God. And if you folks want an incredible reading, please reach out to Jamal. Find him on Instagram at Porcelain. That's PORC3LAIN. Okay.
Yes.
And get your own reading. You can do it through Zoom. So you don't even have to be in the South Florida
We'll
area.
be in the garden tomorrow.
But we'll be in the garden.
Faye has a beautiful garden.
And we'll probably be.
We'll probably be wrapped
We'll
up.
probably be
It's
wrapped
supposed to
up.
be warmer tomorrow.
You think?
Hopefully. Hopefully
Wow.
it's warmer.
Follow Jay. He's always doing something incredible. And again, do yourself a favor. It's a great year startup to have that kind of a reading with Jay. Just a little gift from me to you. Also want to say thank you to Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero, the new executive director over at Pridelines, for joining me and just being so transparent and allowing me to just be. So thank you so much for being you, Harold. I adore you. Folks, I'm really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. Sometimes it's hard for us girls, but if we believe we're one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q plus. We open every show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore and That Girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ plus community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and to embrace our tremendous diversity, because it really is what makes us so damn strong. Until then, make sure you follow me on all social media outlets: Facebook, IG, Blue Sky, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow FayWhat. Until next Tuesday at 9 a.m. live or anytime on demand. I'm FayWhat, and I'm #ThatGirl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Please consider fostering or adopting a pet in need. Love you. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, #that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, #that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too?